Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, I have the troll spray on, I think. Something else I forgot to do. Gotta monetize. There we go. That is so important. You don't know how many times I have forgotten to switch on monetization. It's just like, wow, 52,000 right now. You guys, we just rolled over to 52,000. I just looked and there it was. We just rolled over to 52,000. Another day, another 1,000 subscribers. Wow. That was a surprise. I was not expecting to see that. Oh. I love it. 52,000 subscribers. All right. You know it's exciting when I use my Oprah Winfrey, come on out, Tom Cruise. Whenever I do that Oprah Winfrey, you know it's important. Wow. How about that? Okay. Let me throw some balloons on there really fast. Okay. Found it. Okay. I have done this so much. I mean, it's just like I know exactly where everything is. Throw some balloons on there. I just took a little screenshot of it so I can, put it up there for effect, right? Just for effect. All right. 52,000 subscribers and many more. Well, I mean, I knew we were close. I had been watching. I'm always watching, but I knew we were close. But there it is, 52,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for making this possible. Okay, so let me bring up my slides. Wait, is that it? No, that's from yesterday. Oh, you know what? I put the wrong date on yesterday's slide, so let me take that away. Plus, who wants to see Camilla lurking over the scene? Okay, so let me take that away. That goes. Yes. Yeah, I better take that away. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Let me get this straight so I won't make any mistakes about which is today. And I tell you, it was a race to the finish. Well, you guys said, come on earlier, even though there's so much news and stuff that's happening all day. But here I am. All right, so I got that going. Very cool. I'll take a look over there with you all in just a second. So let me go 52,001. Oh, which reminds me, if you have not subscribed, please do. It is so important for the success and of the channel. Let me see here. So I've done that. And we turn that on. Good. Now, all right. Now, I just need to do one more thing, and we are good to go. Wunderbar. Boy, I tell you, the squatties don't miss anything. I'm going to have to share this with you guys. I'm going to have to share it with you. All right. Oh, no. Okay. Cool. Wait, who's that? All right. Okay, let's do this. Let me see who's here. Judy Matasset, you were first. Thank you so much. All right, and I'm just going to scroll all the way through. And this is for today. Okay, and you can hear me. Okay, good. There we go. Phew. All right, I'm all set, you guys. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, 52,000 subscribers. Now, we just need 48,000 more because I want that silver play button. So everyone who knows anybody that cares about Harry and Meghan, please share the link to Royal Sussex with a little message saying, I think you should subscribe. Also, for people who don't care about Harry and Meghan, please share the link with somebody. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Eileen Bennett. Yes, okay. Why don't we put a little dance in there? We got to dance about that, right? Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. Okay, and hello. I forgot to make Ivy's card. I got to do that today. I was working on a video last night, as you guys probably noticed. Hello, Ivy here. There we go. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Serge Nelly's going to be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, all right. So, 52,000 subscribers. And also, we did have some sad news yesterday. Ivy's brother passed away, so I still have to make the card to go on the community tab so that you all can leave some kind words and some prayers and thoughts for our dear Ivy. Okay. Hey, Black Queen. And as Black Queen has been saying, make sure you guys do a thumbs up or a thumbs down, especially if you're a deranger. Don't forget to hit that thumbs down. And also, don't forget to hit the subscriber. Make sure you are subscribed. Okay. And back. Oh, there we go. I'm already have it up here. All right. Holiday, celebrate, 'cause we need a holiday. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I used to be a Madonna fan. I'm still a Madonna fan. I like Madonna. All right. So Harry and Meghan's New York City chase. There are more people talking about it, and even some of the, well, I tell you, the people that were laughing about it are not really talking about it. Like so far, I don't know. I never watched The View, but has Whoopi Goldberg decided to eat her hat? You know how they say, if I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat. Well, let me know if Whoopi Goldberg has actually decided to acknowledge the fact that the chase was real and that it was very dangerous. And although I may not have used the words nearly catastrophic, mostly because I didn't know that there was a word called catastrophic until that happened. So I probably wouldn't have used it. Well above my pay grade. However, now that we know, still Whoopi Goldberg was one of those people that were doubting them, along with other snarky people. Oh, how does that happen in New York City? Because it happens. Or you calling them liars. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here. Hope you are feeling better today. All right. And let's see here. All right. Very good. And also, more William and Kate conspiracies, plus Willie Leaks was out today. And also, what else do I have here? Oh, yeah, and Charles and Camilla's shadiness. But then what else is new? What else is new? All right, and there we go. 52,000 subscribers. Oh, I love it. 52,000 subscribers. All right, and continuing. So, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle wanted to bring Lily and Archie to the UK just before Queen Elizabeth's death. New details about the Sussexes' travel plans were just revealed. Now, see there, the Sussexes have not, I repeat, they have not leaked to the press. And remember, there are no leaks in Montecito, because otherwise people have been shady and saying, oh, the Queen didn't even get a chance and they lost so much time and Harry could have spent time. Harry could have gone by himself to see the Queen, possibly, But Harry wanted to bring the family to see the Queen. Well, that was made impossible because of the lack of security. He did not want to put his children at risk without proper security. In a ruling handed down by the UK's High Court yesterday, Prince Harry lost his case arguing for police protection. When he is back in his home country, he plans to appeal the decision, with a legal spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex saying the Duke's case is that it is so-called bespoke process, meaning unique and individual, bespoke. I use that word a lot because it's one of the few big words I know. And sometimes I use that to refer to that maxi coat that Edwina wears. It's very bespoke. Nobody else in all of the British military has that luxurious maxi coat with the bright red lining, which makes him feel so, warm. So, and did the rest of the people in the military wear stirrup pants? I thought that went out with Laura Petrie. Huh. Oh, he's got stirrup pants too. I wonder if that's a usual thing. But yeah, he's got his stirrup pants. He's got his maxi coat. Runway ready, y'all. He's about to eat up the runway. Anyway, so that's how I usually use the term bespoke. Yes. Bespoke process that applies to him is no substitute for that risk analysis buried in a 51-page ruling, which you can read here, were details of Harry and Meghan Markle's visit to New York City in May 2023, wherein the New York Police Department says they were, in fact, dangerously chased by paparazzi. But also of note in the document are details surrounding all of Prince Harry's trips to the UK since he and Meghan relocated to California, including, notice they didn't use that M word, that misogynistic M word that they love to use, including their trip in September 2022, which initially to visit with several charities close to their hearts, but turned into a much longer stay following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. The ruling reveals that the Duke of and Duchess of Sussex hoped to bring their two children, Archie and Lily, along with them for the trip. So now we know for sure they were not there because we had no idea, yay or nay. But the decision Rayback, which is Royals and VIP something security, made prevented them shouldn't it be made all right them from doing so? Prevented them from doing so? Shouldn't it be may have? Oh no, I see. The decision Rayback's made prevented them from doing so. Sorry about that. Rayback stands for I just said that, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, and coordinates security between the royal households, the Metropolitan Police, and the Home Office. So Harry and Meghan wanted to bring their children on that trip, and it would have been fantastic. They likely, I don't think, well, with the schedule of the trip, unless they had went there before they went to Germany, then it wouldn't have been likely that they would have been able to see the Queen before she died. Because remember, she died just as they were planning to go to Wellchild that night. So likely they may have gone after Wellchild. But either way, the children would have been there, right? But like I said, we didn't know whether the children were there or not. And so now we know that the children definitely were not there. So that period of time, they went without being with their children. And of course, don't forget, instead of going directly home to their children, the derangers started some rumor saying, oh, they wanted to fly back on Air Force One. That way they would get off the plane at a government military base and then go to a civilian airport and find another plane so that they can get back to California, which would have been a delay, I'm guessing, up to 3 hours or more. Who knows? But either way, it was ridiculous. It made no sense. It's not like it was ever possible that that was going to happen, but it was just something to further disrespect and create hostility against the Sussexes. So they did it anyway. Um, it was disgusting. Lex says the Royal Road and British media are still lying about Harry and Meghan's security, trying to portray that he isn't paying for it, him or themselves. They call it taxpayer security on purpose. Absolutely, Legs. You always have to listen to the words that they are saying. And as Legs said, they are saying taxpayer just to, again, create apathy and hostility against the Sussexes. It is all part of the propaganda and part of the gaslighting used to the effect of making people angry and bitter. And then, in response to that anger and bitterness, you, the consumer or the viewer, are supposed to come back, just like you're being abused. You're supposed to come back to the abuser who made you feel so terrible in the first place, meaning, the various British news sources. You're supposed to go back to them the very next day or hours later, whenever you get an alert on your electronic device, so that you can hear something else terrible about the Sussexes, as though they are protecting you from Harry and Meghan. Because remember, they are trying to convince people that Harry and Meghan are somehow trying to bring down the entire what's left of the British Empire, what's left of it. They're trying to bring down the British Empire. So it is all so contrived and so made up and orchestrated, but yet they get away with it because in this society, we are entitled to a free press, even if they're lying to us, even if they're misleading us. I was thinking about that today, Legs. How is it that they report to work at GB News or Good Morning Britain, Lorraine Show? And of course, you can talk about some of the nicest things in the world, and then all of a sudden, well, we got to get to Harry and Meghan. Oh, what are they up to now, those two? If it's that bad, stop talking about them. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Just stop talking about them. But they won't do it because part of the formula for their success is to be a bunch of negative Nellies. They have to do that. If they don't do that, if they're not the Debbie Downers of the airways, they don't make money. If it's that horrible, then why don't you talk about something else? Now, I just spelled it out for you. This is why I stopped watching talk shows like The View. This is why I stopped watching the morning shows. It has to be something really exceptional, like I want to see them talk about a movie preview or something like that, because that is part of their abuse. They are abusing the viewers. They are abusing the viewers by scaring them into believing that the only truth that they're going to get is from them, by them exposing all of the dastardly things. Like, I know I'm going on a rant, but here I go. The migrant crisis. Is it a crisis? Is it really a crisis? Is it that much worse than Ellis Island when we had thousands of people showing up every week? Is it that terrible? Somehow we managed, right? With an economy that's not nearly as strong as the one we have now, without at the time we were in desperate need of labor, and these people want to work. So I don't see the fuss. But again, when they say migrant crisis. Even your local news, the migrant crisis. They want to make you afraid. Oh, um, they're setting up the streets for the Formula One, and the traffic is going to be. How are people? They will spend weeks scaring you about the commute. You could live in the suburbs, and you're going to imagine that the Formula One in Chicago is going to somehow disrupt your life. That's what I'm talking about. Stop letting these people frighten you. Stop letting them coerce you into believing the worst is going to happen. Don't live in fear like that. Don't let these people scare you. That's what they need. They need you to be afraid so you'll come back to them. Abusers know you're going to come back. And that's what they are. They're abusers. That's why I don't watch Bill Maher. He knows every problem in the world and has no solution. And anybody who's saying, oh, Biden's going to lose, you haven't been paying attention. We're not there yet. So whether you're for him or against him, we don't know that. Anything could happen. So anyway, that's my little rant about the media. Stop letting those people scare you. Life is too short for that. Thank you, Legs. Okay. And Lydia Washington says, congratulations on 52,000 subscribers. I can see the additional 48,000 and that play button in the 2024. I'm sorry, in 2024. Bravo on your success. Well, thank you, Lydia Washington. And thank you and all of the moderators for being such a major part of this. Because, you know, one of the things that makes all of this possible is that you all have seen several of the moderators spread across several channels. And that's a lot of work that they're doing from one day to the next, just so that we can have a safe space. Because when we have good news to share, the one thing that the derangers love is to try to come into these spaces and spoil it for us, right? They want to spoil it for us. And that kind of has a demoralizing effect. So that's why the moderators are so important to the success of these channels. So when you're frustrated because, they have slowed down the chat, well, we have to do that. The first time I ever seen that was when I used to watch Tina and Michelle, but it's not an indication of, an attempt to frustrate anyone. It just means that there's a lot to say, and everybody, has the ability to share in the conversation, and that's what makes the whole process work. So, again, thank you very much, Lydia Washington, and thank you, everyone, for being a part of Royal Sussex. All right, let me continue since I'm through with my soapbox rant. And still got this part right here. On the 24-page document reads, the Home Office had been notified on the 3rd of August, 2022, that the claimant and his wife and children would be visiting the United Kingdom between the 2nd to the 11th. So let me see. What day did the Queen die? She died on the 8th, right? So maybe they would have gone there first, I think. The 2nd to the 11th. I think they would have gone there first. But don't quote me on that. But I think they would have gone to see the Queen first. They would have been able to see the Queen and then off to Germany and then back for the well child. I think that itinerary would have worked out and they would have had time to spend with the Queen. And I'm sure Harry would have loved, because, guys, Harry loved Balmoral. When he was a kid, that was where he was able to run and play. And, that's where he was when he got the news that his mom died tragically and mysteriously in that tunnel in Paris. So Balmoral has always been very important to him. And, unfortunately, he didn't have a chance to share it with the kids. I hope that will happen in the future. I really do, because it's important to him. Whatever we may think about it, that is important to him. The itinerary did not redact text. The itinerary did not. I wonder what that was. On the 10th of August, Raybeck met to decide what protective security, if any, should be provided. A letter outlining Raybeck's decision was sent to the private secretary to the sovereign since the request for protective security had come through the royal household. The letter of 12th August was from the chair. Oh, remember, they wanted 28 days notice, and that's 28 days, isn't it? Had come from the chair of Raybeck to Sir Edward Young. Oh, God, I hate him. Explain that. Blah, blah, blah. It explains. In response, the Prince Harry and Meghan's team wrote to say the purposed security arrangement. I'm sorry, the proposed security. The proposed security arrangement for the September visit were not lawful, and that. Oh, let's see. This is making me mad. Reading between the lines, security was not adequate enough for the Sussexes to bring their children, which ultimately meant they traveled to the UK. Uh, Archie, what is that? Sans Archie and a little bit. Um, this goes back to Prince Harry's original case to review his police protection, wherein his spokesperson said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex personally fund a private security team for their family, yet the security cannot replicate the necessary police protection needed whilst in the UK. In the absence of such protection, Prince Harry and his family were unable to return to his home. Since moving to California, Meghan and Harry have only brought their kids to the UK once in June of 2022 for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. During that visit, they celebrated Lily's first birthday at Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. This trip is not referred to in the document. So there you go. Doesn't it just make you mad? Doesn't that just make you mad? I told you Charles is just lousy. Charles is a lousy father. Some king he is. He paid for Camilla's protection when they were stalking Camilla's house when they first, exposed the whole relationship with Camilla. And eventually he paid for her protection. And right now, if I'm correct, he's paying for the protection of his brother, making sure that he is well fed and housed and everything else. But he won't do it for his son. Oh, well. Oh, man. That makes me mad. And this is the document from the city of New York. As you can see, it is also redacted. But right there, you can see what's been trending on the airways today. A letter from the New York Police Department confirming that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were victims of a reckless paparazzi chase in New York City last May, found sufficient evidence to arrest two individuals for reckless endangerment, according to a UK court filing. You see there? You see there? And what is New York's response? New York is every bit the international financial center that London is. New York is, one of I think it was America's first capital, wasn't it? New York City was our first capital city. New York, in response to this, decided they were going to. I'm sorry, but they were going to step up their game. I had been watching T.S. Madison. I had to make sure I got the right step out of my mouth. But yeah, they were going to step up their game. You would have had to have been there. Sorry. Let me stop saying it. Sorry, y'all. Lisa D, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here on Royal Sussex. Yeah, but they stepped it up. Well, then you understand, don't you? They they had to step it up. I gotta stop saying that word, that phrase. Okay. Woo. Okay. Why am I blushing? Why am I blushing? My face is hot all of a sudden. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Anyway, um, moving on. So yes, they're going to make sure that they are better prepared. See, even when I'm not saying it, I'm saying it. But they're going to make sure that they're better prepared. That they're better prepared to handle these things. Oh, is that a troll? Is that a troll? Okay. Let me handle this myself. Okay. There we go. I think that was a troll. That was a troll with the nasty comment I just saw go by, wasn't it? I caught that one myself. Uh-huh. Well, we won't have to worry about you anymore, right? That's it for you. Sorted. See it, say it, sorted. Yes. Had us a little troll, y'all. Had to wait one whole week. Let me see here. Now, there we go. I think that should handle it. All right. So long, sir or ma'am or whatever you are. So long. Nice try, though. Nice try. Huh. Nice try. Hope it was good for you, too. Oh, man. You ain't had nothing better to do, did you? Well, that's okay. You're not going to kill our joy. Ooh, look at there. You got 8 whole subscribers. Joined back in 2012, and you got 8 subscribers. Good on you. 8 subscribers. What are you going to do with that? That ought to put your kids through college. Silly wabbit. Tricks are for kids. Haven't you heard that before? Silly wabbit. Tricks are for kids. Be very quiet because we are hunting wabbits. Oh, man. But you know what? That's enough about all that. Fortunately, the Sussexes have been vindicated, and well, that the truth is finally out there, and I'm happy. I'm very very happy that that we have finally. Oh, let me see. Pardon me, I'm stalling a bit because I'm making sure that that person needs to start a new account and wait another, um, you know, wait another week so that they can bug us again. So I'm doing a permanent block right now. There we go. There we go. Oh, it looks like I got them already. All right. Looks like, okay. Looks like it is done. So long. Nice try, but so long. Avita Zane. Arrivederci. All's well that ends well. Okay. All right. So, where was I? Let me get back over here. And, oh, let me see. So, Lisa D, thank you again for the super chat and for being a member of Royal Sussex. And also, Joanna Hahn, thank you so much. Catch them, Charles Barron, and congratulations. Thank you very much, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And that reminds me of something that I needed to do. Let me see here. Because there's someone that we are missing from Royal Sussex who I think they haven't been able to join us in the live, and I want to make sure that I do fix that. So I will look into that today and make sure that it's fixed. Okay, so if you have been trying to join us in the live and you haven't been able to get through, worry not. I am going to. I think it's TMCD is the one who's been having a problem. So let me try this right now, you guys, because TMCD should have been back on by now, but I'm going to fix that for them right now. Only take a second. I appreciate your patience. See there? We've gotten rid of a troll and we're getting TMCD back. I say that is a fair trade. Although the TMCD is worth 1,000 of those trolls. Okay. All right. So TMCD, refresh your thing. Come out and come back in, and hopefully it'll work. All right. I just sorted it. I hope it works for you. Thank you for being so patient, and thank you again, Joanna Hung. All right, and so there you go. Even NBC News has talked about it, and you saw. I was just referencing Town and Country, and a few other places are talking about it. So that's good. At least the truth is out there. And for those of you who since May, what was it, May of last year, that have been here supporting the Sussexes and helping them tell their truth, thank you, thank you, thank you. On behalf of Harry and Meghan, which according to Thomas Markle, I am Meghan Markle. Thank you so much for your unwavering support for their truth. All right, now moving on. Okay. All right, so here's some good news for our Duke. MasterCard and Sabre joined the Travelers Coalition. So from time to time, you all have heard, as Lex pointed out earlier, that there has been this, how do I put it? This misinformation campaign about Harry and the environment. They call him an eco warrior that's taking the private jet. Well, Harry has said, for the security of my family, I will take a private jet, right? As well, he should. Now, I don't know that I've ever heard Harry in this life or any other life say that you should not fly. I've never heard him say that. I've never heard Harry beating people over the head about the environment. Travelers, I'm going to say it again. Travelers is for your ability to choose how big of an impact you want to make on the environment via your carbon footprint. How much carbon emissions are you going to be responsible for? So, in other words, thanks to Travelers, when you book a flight, right, or when you stay at a hotel, I think they're working with hotels now. You have the ability to look at the number that is like printed on your ticket, that is shown on your computer screen, and it tells you what the percentage of the carbon emissions are you responsible for. And so that way you can say, oh, I was going to fly there, but the train is just as convenient and it only takes about an hour longer. So it'll take me right to the downtown. I'm going to take the train instead. And look at there. It's a benefit to the environment because I am using a smaller carbon footprint. There is less pollutants being generated because I'm taking the train instead of the plane. That is the whole point of travelers. Everybody's not going to use it. Some people just want to get to Las Vegas so that they can see um, Adele, right? They want to see Adele. So they're not concerned about the travelers or the carbon emissions. But the younger people tend to be more conscious of the impact that they make on the environment. And Harry, who is supposed to be the I don't know how else to put it. He's supposed to be the dumb one, right? He's supposed to not have much going on upstairs. They have convinced him of that his whole life. Well, one day he was sitting around the palace and he decided to get some people together. And he said, we're going to form a thing called Travelers, and I want you to head it. I forgot the woman's name, but I want you to head it. So there she is minding her business. And next thing you know, she's at Kensington Palace and she's in the room with Harry and a few other people. And now MasterCard and Sabre has joined. Now, the last thing I ever heard about Sabre was years ago, there was a computer system called the Sabre, which helped one of the airlines become incredibly successful and actually put some of the other airlines out of business. And it was called the Sabre computer. And I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but I remember that from my youth. They had something called the Sabre computer, and it was supposed to help streamline the process of booking. And so, if that is the same company or the same source or whatever, that would be interesting to know that it's still around. But yeah, so that's what Travelers is. So while they are saying things like, oh, Harry, what is he going to do? And they don't work that much. This is yet another occupation that he has, another hat that he wears while he's supposedly doing little or nothing in Montecito, where there are no leaks. There are no leaks in Montecito. Don't forget that. Um, there's never any leaks in Montecito. What happens in Montecito stays there. So Sabre and MasterCard join Travelers Coalition. Sabre becomes the third GDS member of Environmental Coalition Travelers. Now, why do companies do this? It's beneficial to them because the consciousness that people have about the impact that they have on the environment when they travel, right? Something we should all be aware of, by the way. But this gives them a choice. They can decide. It empowers you to decide. And in some cases, who knows? You may want to stay home. And that's the risk that these companies are taking by joining Travelers. But the thing is, that ain't likely to happen because they say that every year before the pandemic, tourism was on the rise. And since the pandemic, tourism is even greater than it was before the pandemic. So, no danger of that. We live in a global village, and the world is getting smaller by the day because of the ease of travel. So, there you go. That is what Travelers does. And right here it says South Lake, Texas, and London, United Kingdom, Travelers, the not-for-profit organization founded by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, today welcomes Sabre and MasterCard to his coalition. Do you see why they are so terrified of him? Do you see why he scares the royal family? Do you see why that is happening? He does not manage a Fortune 500 company. He's not the ruler, or he doesn't reign over a country. He's not a sovereign. He's just Prince Harry. But yet, these multi-billion-dollar companies are getting on the bandwagon. Sabre Corporation, oh, as you can see, there it is on NASDAQ, Sabre, SABR, and MasterCard joined the leading travel and technology brand in the Travelers Coalition, including Amadeus, Bookings.com, Expedia, Expedia Group, Google, Skyscanner, and Travelport, Trip.com Group, TripAdvisor, and Visa. Well, now Google, the reason why Google is there, if you have ever purchased a flight from Google, you can go through Google to search for your flights. You guys, I find that much easier than hunting around trying to use all those places that's going to save you a couple of dollars. I go straight to Google. I don't bother with anything else. But very fast, very efficient, and I don't know that I would have saved any money anyplace else. I have a couple of other places I've used, and Google has only been $1 or $2 off here and there. So the group, which represents a combined market cap of almost $3 trillion. This is $3 trillion of corporations that have joined Travelers. Did you guys see that? Take a look at it. It's real small. I can barely see it. A market cap of almost $3 trillion aims to bring sustainability information to the mainstream to help people make better travel choices. Isn't that what I just said? I didn't even have to read it. I already know. The addition of MasterCard and Sabre will help accelerate that ambition. It gives you the choice as a consumer as to how you will travel and how much carbon emission you generate. This is what they omit from every conversation about Harry using a private jet for the security of his family. This is what they omit every time, is that, yes, he has used a private jet here and there, not nearly at the rate of the rest of his family, or the other senior royals, I should say, but he has. But mostly he flies commercial, just like you and I. But the point is, travel is there for choices. It's not there to chastise anyone or to make you feel ashamed for taking a vacation or going to see your mama. That ain't the point of it. It's about choice. So Sabre, they were excited to talk about it. You can see there, we are leveling up to our commitment to sustainability with Travelers, a not-for-profit organization founded by Prince Harry, together with securing more sustainable future alongside MasterCard and our other peers, $3 trillion worth of peers in the coalition, transforming the travel industry to be more sustainable with Travelers. And who was it founded by? Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. I am so proud of him. You guys, I don't have the words. I am so proud of him. So, and right here, you can see they had some launch earlier with short-term rentals, which I believe is just like, what is that other place? Airbnb. So you can see there, short-term rentals, UK Travelers launches sustainable certification initiative. So what they're going to do, Travelers, is they're going to certify some of these. And remember I said they were getting into the hotel business? Well, here you can see, even with the short-term rentals, they are going to give certifications to people. So I'm hoping that this means that some of the property owners that are leasing these properties will make sure that their homes are as energy efficient and sustainable as possible. I hope that's what it's about because we can all do better. No matter what you've already done, we can all do better. So there you go. I say that as I have every light in my house on, every light. I even went and opened up the oven to make sure that that was on. I opened up the dryer to make sure that that light was on. I am burning more megawatts. I'm burning more megawatts. Harry would be embarrassed to know that I'm preaching travelers and making sure that every light in my house is on. I mean to tell you, I just turn them on. I don't know what else to do with myself. Under the cabinet, the dryer, the oven. Oh, I forgot to open up the microwave. I got to open up that microwave door so I can get that light going. Yeah. That's my way of rebelling. I'm feeling rebellious right now. I'm rebelling against the system. But anyway, so you get the point. So if you find yourselves encountering someone who doesn't know what this is about, remember, it's about choice. That's it. It's about choice. How much you, as the consumer, are using in terms of carbon emissions. Speaking of carbon emissions, no, I'm just kidding. I had nothing to go with that. Okay, so at tonight's Sport Gives Back Award, our patron, the Duke of Sussex, joined virtually to pay tribute to our community liaison manager, Josh Bogey, who was chosen, not chosen as winner of the Unconquered Award. So I played you a little sound bite from that yesterday. Let me see here. Baron, I thought they claimed England is the birthplace of the English language. They are always correcting everyone's grammar, yet they have sentences like in hospital, working from bed, and laptop. Exactly, exactly. The English language is liquid. It is always ever. And don't forget, too, Black Queen, half of the English language that we use every day is actually what? En français. We are actually speaking French. You can be certain of that, right? Especially if you live on a avenue or boulevard, right? We use a lot of French every day. English borrows and steals from, well, leave it to the English. They borrow and steal from other languages, just like they have stolen so much. But anyway, let me stop that. Okay, so thank you so much, Black Queen, for your comment. And thank you for the super chat and for being a moderator as well as a member of Royal Sussex. Okay, let me see. All right, so anyway, that's that about this one here. And wow, he's got. I have never seen Harry wear a double-breasted coat before. I'm assuming that's double-breasted. Look at the lapel. Isn't that interesting? I didn't. I have never known him to wear a double-breasted suit, and he is going super super casual with that look. But I have never seen him wear a double-breasted suit. This must have been very last minute. Although it's no reason to dress up all fancy. But let's see here. Leslie F says, everyone drink in hospital. Yes, the in hospital drinking game. Thank you, Leslie F. Yeah, if you all remember when they were first talking about Charles and Kate in hospital, that was driving me crazy because as an American, it's in the hospital. Not in hospital, but in the hospital. Oh, that was driving me crazy. That was driving me crazy. Oh, and by the way, thank you again, Leslie F. cheers to you, Black Queen, because there are some people in my community, they don't say laptop, they say laptop. Can I look at your laptop? It's laptop. It's a laptop computer, not laptop. Listen to me, I'm confusing myself. But yes, thank you, Black Queen. But I'm sure you know someone like that that says, is that your laptop? It's lap with a P, not a B. Carolita Simone, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you, or Friday if it's already past midnight. Okay. Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not. Or did I? Anyway, thank you so much again. I don't know if I highlighted or not. Okay. What is that? Marjoel says the unwarranted hatred of Prince Harry has rendered the uh, PH haters. What is it? PH hater totally impotent. Oh, Prince Harry haters totally impotent in every way. He lives rent free in their heads, and their women are looking at him funny. Looking at them funny, rather. Yes, Marjorie, that is so true. He is living rent free in their heads. They wake up every day so full of salt and vinegar and frothing at the mouths. They don't know what to do with themselves. What a way to be! I mean, just be happy. I got a sound bite I'm going to play for you guys later. That is it's so delusional. It is so delusional. They're so worried about Harry and these court cases. I don't know how he can afford it. He can, okay? And if there ever comes a time when they can't, um, and trust me, that is not going to happen. But if that were to happen, I myself I will pitch in. I got 20 on it. Okay. Let me continue here. And Well Child, we spoke about the Well Child last night. That kind of happened. Both that and the other award I just mentioned happened yesterday, just before I went on. As you can see, that was okay. Anyway, so there's a video for that, but I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm real scared. Um, because the social media platform that I'm on has been cracking down on people, and I don't want to have to make a video and say this is Alec Murdoch and I'm up in it real bad. Hello, yeah, this is Alec Murdoch and I'm up in it real bad. I'm up in it real bad. Alec Murdoch, yes, and I'm up in it real bad. Real bad. That man is so dumb, the dog toed on him. The dog toed on him. That's how bad he was. You know you dumb when the dog tails on you. This is Alec Murdoch, and I'm up in it real bad. I'm up in it real bad. I'll never forget that 911 dispatch call. Okay, so right here. Oh, why did I have this here? Oh, see, I was doing really good. Now this one is out of place. That is the thing for Travelers, but I don't really need it. London. Travelers, a not-for-profit organization founded by Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Today, welcome MasterCard and Sabre. We're good. And this is the video that I made yesterday. It is Misan Harriman, proud to have Meghan Markle's support of new film. Her taste is impeccable. It's 4 minutes long. Let me see how many people watched it. If it's not that many, then I'll play it. But if most of you all have seen it, I won't bother. Let me see here. Oh, it's under 4,000. That is looking like a food truck. It's under 4,000. That looks like a food truck video. Roll them. That is under 4,000. That is about the equivalent of that food truck video that upset my sensibilities. I stayed up all night making that food truck video, and hardly nan person watched it. Barely nan person. Not nan. Let me see here. B. Bram, thank you so much for the super sticker and being a member of Royal Sussex. So, since we're drifting into that food truck video territory, I am going to have to, as they say in Hollywood, roll them. Okay, here goes. Among the fans of Miss and Harriman's newly Academy Award-nominated film is a special friend, Meghan Markle. She is really as a sister to me, the Nigeria-born filmmaker-photographer tells People when asked what the Duchess of Sussex support means to him. I mean, her taste is impeccable, he adds. She is someone that looks for great depth of meaning and intention in what she engages in. And I believe she felt that in this film. The After, an 18-minute short on Netflix starring David Oyelowo and co-written by John Julius Schwabach, marks the directorial debut of Harriman, previously known for his celebrity portraiture. The film, which explores an ordinary man's devastating grief, is nominated for Best Live Action Short at the upcoming 96th Oscars ceremony. Meghan hosted a special screening and moderated a talkback with Harriman and Oyelowo on November 15th at a private residence in Montecito, California, where the Duchess of Sussex lives with her husband, Prince Harry, and their 2 children, 4-year-old son, Prince Archie, and 2-year-old daughter, Princess Lilibet. In a December Instagram post about the event, Harriman wrote that it was extra special to have Meghan and so many of my film idols watch this film. Meghan also made a surprise video appearance to introduce Harriman before his TED Talk, The Power of an Image, and the mind behind it, in April of last year. To have her recognize this work, he tells People, is just something I'm really proud of, and I'm deeply thankful as well. Little old me trying to get into this world that she knows so well. Harriman's celebrity clientele as a longtime photographer includes Rihanna, Cate Blanchett, Tom Cruise, and Angelina Jolie. As he acknowledges to People, he's also become Meghan and Harry's go-to portrait taker. From the couple's 2021 pregnancy announcement to Lilibet's first birthday photo in 2022 to their appearance at the One Young World Summit, I've been very lucky to photograph many special moments with her and her husband and her family, he says. My images of them do all the talking, explains Harriman, who has also appeared in the Harry and Meghan docuseries. Portraiture for me, whether it is royalty or whether I'm in the tip of the spear in any of the civil rights movements that I care deeply about, is looking for truth. That's fundamentally what my lens is there to capture the human condition in full fidelity. He continues, whether it's beautiful children and the great love and fortitude of this couple, or whether it is when the world decided to refuse to look away from what happened to George Floyd, whether it's climate action, the gay and trans community is hugely important for me. My lens is always at their disposal, always will be. In addition to her friendship with Harriman, Meghan also shares a special connection with Oyelowo. In September, she and her husband's Archewell Foundation announced the donation of school supplies and menstrual products to young women in Nigeria in partnership with the Giangso Foundation. The organization's David Oyelowo Leadership Scholarship provides full tuition, medical care, and emotional support to young female victims of terrorism and gender inequality in Nigeria. The After is streaming now on Netflix. Okay, I love editing videos. It is so much fun. Sometimes I just lose track of time. But yes, all right. So that was the one I made last night, and thank you for watching. Bum bum bum. Oh man. Shady is as shady does. Shady is as shady does. Oh well. As one of my favorite people once said,
"Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Sit down. Hey girl, sit down. I love her. But yes, as Nina Simone once said, hey girl, sit down. So they're saying that this is why Willie, somebody finally said this is why Willie didn't want to go to the thing, which is what I thought was going to happen for the what do you call that? For the Commonwealth Day. But not really thinking about this one. I thought this, I don't know. I didn't really think about this one would be the one, but either way, it happened. And for the royal family, it has been hell to pay. Now, there's Camilla trying to be Michelle Obama by putting her hand on the first lady of Ukraine's back. Well, something like that. But she's trying to be warm and friendly and show everybody how caring she is. You know, the woman who, along with Charles, was so abusive to not only Princess Diana, but Princess Diana's children. That one, the conniving, scheming, malicious, backstabbing, you know, Camilla Parker Bowles. She is trying to show everybody how warm she is. Whenever the royals need to show people that they care, do they show up at some of those housing estates where people have been struggling in this economy? No. Do they spend time at hospitals? You know, not pretending somebody is there, but at a hospital. Anyway, no. The answer is no. There's a lot of places that they could be, but most days, because of the age of Camilla and Charles, especially Charles, he barely leaves the driveway of one of his estates. He barely leaves. If he does, it's by helicopter. But for the most part, they don't go out that much. Well, especially when the country needs the inspiration the most, they do stuff like this. There's a lot of cameras, there's these gilded passageways, but very little outreach to the general public. And then, of course, to really sell it, somehow the cameras wound up on a side table or on some bureau or something. And there you can see Charles and Camilla's favorite photos, royal place, beloved memories on display at Clarence House. including heartfelt snaps of Prince George and the late Queen, and William and Harry in their happier times. No Meghan. Um, it's kind of hard to see it, but that is, of course, number one is Charles and the Queen. Number two is Charles and Camilla. And there is Charles holding baby George, I believe it is. Or is it Louis? Maybe it's Louis. And there's Harry, number three. I'm sorry, number five is Charles holding the baby. And number three, there's Harry back there. And number four is also Harry, which you can see on that top right photo. That is just the very top of his hair there. And also, let's see, there's a picture of the Queen Mother. And then, of course, is the wedding photo, number 7. That is Charles and Camilla on their wedding day. And for some reason, they have Franklin Roosevelt. Now, the only reason I could imagine that that is there is because Franklin Roosevelt, if you remember, Franklin Roosevelt and the Queen Mother and George VI, they had a very close relationship during the days of the war. And so someone actually thought that that was Louis Mountbatten, but no, that is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So that is the unnumbered photo that you see closest to the lamp there. But yeah, and then there is another warm, cozy moment. You know, it's got to be humiliating for the First Lady of Ukraine to have to spend time with that menacing, monstrous, homewrecker, adulterous queen consort. I unpacked my adjectives. But duty calls, and she has to do what she has to do for her people. And while it may be uncomfortable to be downwind from Camilla, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Like I remember that one incident where that poor lady was supposed to go to some luncheon or tea or gathering or something like that. And when she got there, guess who she was seated next to, much to her dismay?
Part of the lunch club.
Yeah, yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only mountain here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Brave mountain. So how long So how long
Now, we all know that that head shake is so help me God. That's what that head shake is. When somebody shake their head like that, that means so help me God. If I get out of here.
So how long So how long
Somebody, if when I get out of here, so help me God. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to be downwind from Camilla, that woman right there spoke for everyone that it has been affected by her presence. Everyone. So couldn't have been easy, or as I like to say, couldn't have been me. Black Queen says, Baron, Jacqueline Wiseman just lost her mom at 101. Wow. And Elaine Parker is being diagnosed with COPD, wishing healing on these brave women. Wow. 101. 101 blessed years. That is incredible. A centenarian, no less. Well, thank you for that information, Black Queen. And also, Elaine Parker, we are continuing to pray for you. Thank you so much for being here in spite of everything else that you have going on. But thank you so much. Amazing. 101. I wonder what that's got to be like to have seen so much change They have seen so much change. Back in 1924, let me see, the world was recovering from World War One, right? And of course, the economy was booming. The industrial economy was booming. People were buying automobiles for the first time, entertained by radio and remnants of vaudeville. And let me see, I think at that time they hadn't really added sound to motion pictures yet. I think that came along back in 1928, was it? Was it 28 or 26? Well, anyway, I'm just pointing this out so you can imagine how much change that Jacqueline Wiseman's mom must have seen in her lifetime. There's not many among us who could say that, except for, I don't know, maybe we still don't know how old Church Nellie is, but but yeah, there's not many of us that can say that. So wow, what a blessing! 101 years. Thank you so much for that, Black Queen. Okay. And no cussing, Church Nelly. A horse is a horse is a. Oh, you snuck up on me with that one. Wilbur. Wilbur. Well, thank you so much, B. Martim. Yes, a horse is a horse is a horse, of course. Do you remember on the coronation day, one of the tabloid writers said something about the way Camilla trundled into the Westminster Abbey? They said something about her trundling. She trundled into the Westminster Abbey. If all of the things that had taken place on coronation day, if you had to ask me, was there anything that you had taken away from that event that comes to mind? And I would have to say yes. That was when they mentioned Camilla trundled her way into the Westminster Abbey. Oh, let me see here. Oh, I got a PayPal. Thought I saw my phone lighting up. But thank you, RMME. Thank you very much for the PayPal. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. I should have just said the name. I'm pretty sure you all figured that one out. But thank you so much. But sometimes people have different names, so I just try to be careful about that. But yeah, so thank you very much, and I'm glad you're enjoying the Royal Sussex. As a matter of fact, they said thank you for the laughter, good mood, and good shade. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I am in a very good mood today. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And again, thank you so much for being here. All right. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Oh, and I keep doing it. All right, there we go. The screen move. The chat is moving. So, all right. So now, you guys, that is Rebecca English, a conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Do you remember that from what is that? Sister Act, when oh gosh, what was her name? Maggie Smith. I forgot. I'm trying to think of her name, the character name. But anyway, she was the Mother Superior. And when Whoopi Goldberg was thrown into her lap to stay there, she goes, "Absolutely not. She's a conspicuous woman designed to stick out." Well, that describes Rebecca English. A conspicuous woman designed to stick out, especially wearing that hideous dress. I don't know why she tries so hard. They dress up like they're at a wedding or something when they do this ridiculous show. I don't know why they get all dressed up just to be so hateful. And then you got that the king of dog food there. Was it Richard Eden? Isn't he the one that got the free dog food from Kate's brother? And then this other one who looks like the real life version of one of those Charlie Brown characters. A woman whose hairstyle has not changed since the eighth grade. All of them are sitting up there throwing shade as per usual. I'm going to let you hear it. I almost didn't bother, but I'm just like, you know what? I'll play it and then I'll read them. I'll play it and then I'll read them. A conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Absolutely not. A conspicuous woman designed to stick out. Okay, nobody say it like Maggie Smith. Absolutely not. Oh, man. This is why my neighbors never knock on my door. There's too many voices coming out of this place. You know what I mean? Too many voices. It seems like there's several people here. Either that or just one person with a bad personality disorder. Multiple personality disorder. Okay, which do I want to do first? Okay, I'll do this one.
He's out there more than most. So what do you have to say about what's being said?
Yeah, I mean, I almost don't want to answer this because these people are crazy, and I've seen the most awful things written about online. And I think the trouble is that silence has allowed these conspiracy theories and people, quite frankly, I think that have a massive agenda against William and Kate as a couple and also as the royal family. They are using this to create mischief, to sow discord, to
but who are these people? As far as I can tell, they're people with 25 followers that includes their mum.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
There are a lot of them,
Yeah.
and I suspect some of it is quite orchestrated, and it's thoroughly nasty. It really, really is. Do I think personally Kensington Palace could have maybe given us an update from the princess herself? Now we're several weeks down the line, very possibly. But I think I absolutely agree with Richard. It is her right to say whether she wants to share it with us.
Yeah, I mean, if she does, great.
Yeah.
That should be up to her.
And to be fair to Kensington Palace, they haven't deviated at all. They said at the beginning of this, she's having this abdominal surgery. We're not going to give a running commentary on it.
Yeah.
You probably won't see her until after Easter. So they've not changed the goalposts. I think if we come to Easter time and there's still no suggestion she's taking up public engagements, then I think people have maybe got a right to ask some more questions. But they haven't deviated from their policy at all.
What is it going to be like for Catherine? The very first public engagement afterwards, it'll just be the pressure will just feel so ratcheted up.
I feel nervous thinking about it. Yeah, just covering that. Yeah,
I mean, it has to be said that a lot of these revolting conspiracy theories and stuff which have been out there are from Harry and Meghan supporters. It's that kind of acrimony. I've seen them all the time saying this, that, and the other, and even sadly after the tragic death of Thomas Kingston, I've just seen awful things that have been written about it, and lots of them are from their cheerleaders.
Awful. Well, despite the confusion on Tuesday, Rebecca.
So you see there, guys, they are blaming the Sussex squad for all of that, even though there are people in the TikTok community and there are even supporters of the royal family that are speaking out. They are speaking out against the royal family. You see, it's just like Philip said years ago, if and when the House of Windsor, well, I'm not using his exact words, but he was speaking of the other houses of Europe. He made it very clear that when people turn against a royal family, it's usually coming from their biggest supporters. It's not coming from the people that have been trying to get rid of them all along is from the people who have supported them the most, because they feel as though they are being undersold, that they are being used or slighted in some way. So all this money, 350 plus million pounds a year for that institution, and what are they getting for it? What are they getting for it? So yeah, don't blame the Sussex squad. I don't know why people always want to say, oh, it's their biggest supporters. It's their biggest supporters. No, it's not. It's the general public. In this media age that we live in, especially with social media, the information age, there are so many places where you can use your voice and say things to thousands of people that otherwise you would have never been able to do 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But as these are modern times, it is possible. So, you know, what is your point? What is your point? Don't blame us for it. Do not blame the Sussex squad. This is something that has evolved quite naturally.
Thomas, I wanted to ask you about these vile individuals who refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad. So I wanted to ask you about these vile individuals who refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad. Refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad. Refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad. So
The Sussex Squad. Well, you guys, you're keeping them up at night. You are keeping them up at night. Listen, if it wasn't for those vile individuals known as the Sussex Squad, where would Harry and Meghan be right now? Where would they be right now? I don't doubt that they would be thriving, but it just makes it that much easier. If the court of public opinion was able to end the conservatorship of Britney Spears, it decided that case against what's his name, the actor, the pirate guy. It decided that case, Johnny Depp. That's his name, Johnny Depp. The court of public opinion. So that means that people can't get away with the things that they used to. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that is the best way to conduct business or the best way to challenge conventions, but it is available and people use it. And it has helped. I couldn't say whether it helps more than it hurts, but as far as the Sussexes are concerned, it has been a real lifesaver, literally a lifesaver. To know that there's a community of people that come rain or shine has your back. When you have the British tabloid media, the courtiers, and members of your own family trying to condemn you. Day after day, they have some very powerful institutions that are raining hell down on them. But they also have a community of people out here who noticed what was happening and said, not on my watch. I won't stand for it. That they were not expecting. That they were not expecting. That there would be somebody out here that would see what was going on and they would say,
Sit down. Sit down.
They wasn't counting on that. But we're here. And we're forced to be reckoned with. So there you go. So there's another part to it, unfortunately. There is another part to it. I'm going to get to that one. Now, if I could just remember which one I just played. If I could just remember which one I just played. Well, we'll find out. It'll be fun to find out. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I got it. No, I don't have it, but let's try it anyway.
Bloody theories out there more than most. So what do you have to say about what's being said?
Yeah, I mean, I almost don't want to answer this because these people are.
Okay, that was we already done that with this one.
There was a development, wasn't there? Then one that actually caught Netflix by surprise.
It definitely did. So around their.
Oh God, yes. Okay. Let me just go ahead and prepare you. They are still that conspicuous woman designed to stick out. She is still trying to sell this idea, Rebecca English. And mind you guys, don't underestimate how awful she is. Rebecca English, she pretty much works for the royal family. Not exactly. I'm just saying she's not an employee of the royal family, but if it comes out of her mouth, it's implied, it should be implied that there is some type of, shall we say, wink and a nod from the royal family. Okay? I'm just saying, if it's coming out of her mouth, then it's already been discussed. I'll just leave it at that.
Visit to Whistler in Canada to highlight the Invictus Games there next year. Harry gave, as we discussed last week, an interview to GMA. GMA have subsequently turned that kind of couple of minutes with him into a 20-minute program, which is kind of doesn't have a lot more from Harry, and what it is just showing him talking to Invictus, but it's been padded out with talking heads, and it's actually quite a.
Did she say talking heads? Isn't that exactly what she is, a talking head? Isn't that exactly, aside from being a conspicuous woman designed to stick out, isn't she just a talking head?
Negative take on the royal family and the British media and the situation over the last couple of years, yada, yada, yada. And that's appeared on Hulu, which is a rival streaming organisation.
Oh, dear.
So Alison Boshoff, again, our very excellent.
Wait a minute. Did you hear that? Okay, the lady with the glasses on. No, not Richard Eaton, the other lady with the glasses on. The lady with the glasses on, not to be confused with Richard Eaton, she goes, "Oh dear. Oh dear, what? Oh dear, how does that affect you? Oh dear. Oh dear, what? What? Oh dear. Why is she sitting up there pretending like this bothers? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my behind."
Chauffeur Supremo broke the story.
Wait. Okay, let me run it back a little bit so you can hear it.
On Hulu, which is a rival streaming organisation.
Oh dear.
So Alison Boshoff, again, our very excellent Chauffeur Supremo broke the story, and she spoke to people at Netflix who had no idea that this was going to happen, and they were taken by surprise. I mean, I'm not sure it actually would cause any contractual difficulties for him, but it's not a great look.
It's not a great look. I think that would be fair to say. Richard, we're also hearing a little bit more about the details of Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal. What have you made of that?
Now, this is the other lady with the glasses.
Yes, this is really interesting. This is more details emerging about the deal with Netflix that Harry and Meghan signed. So when they signed it, there were huge figures were bandied around. We heard about sort of $100 million, figures like this. But more details are coming out. It's quite interesting. I think people, perhaps now that deal's coming to an end, people at Netflix are happy to sort of talk about it. But it sounds like it was very dependent on what work was actually produced. So there may have been some initial sum, but most of it was tied up with the programs that came out. And because they haven't produced very much, the actual money that Netflix will have handed over will be much less than those sort of huge figures we've heard about.
Oh, wow. And that's quite stressful when I think about how expensive their Montecito lifestyle must be. What with all the court cases?
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I know. They've got.
Oh, they are just so worried. And by the way, Richard Eden.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Yeah, girl, sit down. They are just so shocked and in such dismay over the idea that the Sussexes may not be able to afford their lavish lifestyle. Since we don't know how much money Meghan had before she went into that marriage, since we don't know how much money Harry inherited, I mean, there are figures out there, but we don't know exactly, but he had some money. But this is one of the things that they do on a daily basis, is they speculate about this Netflix deal. They got the money. Netflix was handing out money like you were scooping up M&Ms out of a grocery store bulk item bin. You know what I'm saying? Just a barrel full of M&Ms, and they're just throwing them in that paper bag, and you put it on the scale. They say, oh, it's about $100 million over. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And you just walk out the store with your $100 million or more worth of M&Ms. Does that make any sense? They were giving out money. They made a lot of money. Now, even if the Sussexes had not produced a single thing, but they have, like for instance, the docuseries, which broke Netflix. It broke the Netflix. That was the first time that it ever happened, that I know of, that the system collapsed because of the demand for the docuseries, right? The first chance that they had uninterrupted to tell their story. Now, I've had some people say, oh, well, actually just one person that kind of ticked me off. They said, well, you know, it seems so one-sided. And I said, does it not impress you that they've had a 24-hour news cycle of dozens of news groups and television magazines and all types of publications and books and radio, social media, where people have been able to condemn them for waking up in the morning, and yet they take a few hours of footage and put it on Netflix to tell their side of the story. And that is a little lopsided. It doesn't seem very balanced. Of course, when I heard that, my ears went up. Because most people don't understand that. And you try to explain it, and they just don't get it. But they can't conceive of this campaign of hate, because I guess they couldn't imagine how something like that could happen. Well, if you've ever supported Hillary Clinton for public office, you understand these things. Hillary Clinton went from being the most popular woman in the world, the most popular woman in America, according to some of these polls, even tying with Michelle Obama, above Queen Elizabeth. For 20 years, she was the most admired woman in America until she ran for public office. So when people tell me, oh, that doesn't seem very balanced, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. When you tell me that is not, oh, that doesn't seem very balanced. Um, I just wonder because, it all seems so one-sided. That doesn't seem very balanced.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, you got that? I ain't got time for it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time for that. Leg says, didn't Netflix just say these lying MFers? Oh wait, let me take her away. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put that back up there. Yeah, they just said that. They just exactly. Thank you, Legs. But again, they have to speculate about the amount of money that the Sussexes have available. Mark Cuban said it best when he said in their lifetime they will make $1 billion as long as they are very selective about their projects. And because sometimes we don't see Meghan for months at a time, because we see Harry a handful of times, we know that they have been very selective. And yet, MasterCard and Sabre decided to sign on to a project created by Prince Harry. So, in spite of those two women with glasses and that conspicuous woman designed to stick out, despite what they're saying, it does not matter. You can bet your free bags of dog food from the Middletons that it does not matter what you say or think. Maureen and Gravy Lady. Gravy Lady knows nothing that fears inserted themselves in that interview due to no access. Yes, thank you, B. Martin. You're absolutely right. B. Martin, if you remember when Harry gave the interview to ABC, right, to Will Reeves, they threw Jobo in there and they threw Victoria Ward or whatever her name is. They threw them in there because they wanted to hear some English accents. And of course, what Jobo said was somewhat complimentary to Prince Harry, which, if you notice, that a lot of these talking heads, they have a different voice that they use on American television. They have very different voices on American television. So, and they, you know what? And you better, because they had successfully infiltrated the American media in the early days. But you hear about the, what is that M word that I hate about them leaving? It involves Meghan's name, rhymes with Brexit. You hear that less and less. And also, you don't hear so much about them stepping down or stepping away as much as you've heard before, because anybody that is doing business with the Sussexes are bound to make money. They're bound to make money. Yes, you're going to have your social media ravaged by those trolls, but you will get it back tenfold. People want to stay in their orbit because, first and foremost, they're very good people. And because there's a lot of praying aunties and a lot of praying grandmothers that have shielded them from people like this. And you can see the good in them. You can see that they are not just there to secure their generational wealth, but they also know things. When Harry spoke at Travelers, he spoke with a knowledge of someone who had actually studied these things. When he speaks about the wounded warriors or the sick veterans or whatever, he always speaks with the breadth and width of knowledge that you would expect from any expert. He doesn't just go there and read what his staff gave him. He has a full understanding, and to the best of his ability, he explains it. And so when Harry makes a proposal, people listen. When Meghan had the archetypes, what happened? What happened with archetypes? Joe Rogan, the king of the podcast, was knocked off his throne by a new podcast. And it was Meghan's. So when these people are pretending that they are on the verge of collapse, that they are on the verge of disaster, it's just not true. You may wish for it, but that's all it is, wishful thinking. Harry and Meghan are doing just fine. As a matter of fact, they are exceeding all expectations, including their own. Heller. Leg says, you know that it's a liar. She told herself she looks good in that dress. Can Maureen Peabody, he does look like Mr. Peabody, and what is it, Daria Magoo, Mr. Magoo's daughter, see it. Trying to be flashy. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh boy, Legs, I can see they got you hot. All right. Thank you so much, Legs. But I understand. I told you I almost didn't even share this, but I'm just like, no, let me share it and then let me read them. But you guys, I've been looking at some of these comments. You all are on fire today. Mr. Magoo's daughter. Okay, let me stop. Hold on, let me drink some water. By the way, is it Lisa that got me this cup? Lisa, I am not a member of Travelers yet, or I don't know if you could join, but anyway, I do worry about my carbon footprint. I have been drinking out of this 40-ounce thermal container every day since I got it. Do you hear me? Every day. And so where I used to go and get bottles of water, now I just get one big bottle and I pour water and make ice with it every day. So that has cut down on the amount of waste that I generate. And I have water. I'm drinking so much water. That's my point too, is I'm drinking. And you guys don't hear my water bottle crinkling anymore because I have been using this 40-ounce thermal thing. And anyway, thank you very much for it. I get that from the official Royal Sussex wish list. Okay, let's move on. So right there, Will's no-show mystery. Prince William pulls out of Godfather's memorial service over personal matter. And of course, that same day, Thomas Kingston dead and royal death shock. Well, kind of reminds me of Kate's surgery. And then not long thereafter, you hear Charles has a problem with his prostate. And just interesting the way those two things came about at the same time. So very weird. But as mentioned, oh, thank you, Lydia. And remember, you guys, there is no obligation to buy anything from the Royal Sussex wish list, although it is fun for me. I must admit it is fun for me because I like the surprise of it. But I'm going to put the link at the top of the chat. Again, no one is obligated to buy anything from the official Royal Sussex wish list, but it just turns the average, say, February or March into Christmas. So anyway, thank you, Lydia. All right. So as I was saying, you had those two things happen. And so they really skewered William. As a matter of fact, with all of the work that the tabloid media has done to reform William's what is it, his image, they reformed his image by going after Harry and Meghan and talking about how much he works, how hard he works. He's the future of the royal family, et cetera, et cetera. But the old William has come bursting through, just like, hey, Kool-Aid. You know, remember how the Kool-Aid man, oh, yeah, hey, Kool-Aid. You know how Kool-Aid comes bursting through the wall? Well, lazy, work-shy Will has come busting through the wall for everyone to see him in his usual state, lazy, disinterested, sullen. What was that the guy said? A stodgy dullard. The stodgy dullard. That's what he wants, a stodgy dullard. In other words, Willie, either sit down and do nothing and don't open your mouth about global matters, or get up and go do some work. But either way, nobody wants to hear from you. Just like they say in The Crown, nobody cares what you think. And so there he is. He went to a synagogue today. And this morning, someone said, I wonder if he's going to go to a mosque, right? If you're going to a synagogue, are you going to a mosque? Well, the answer is no. I don't think he went to a mosque today. He just went to a synagogue. And the reason why he went to the synagogue is because he opened up his big mouth about the war. Now, as he said, too many people have died. And yes, too many people have died. Children have died. And instead of calling it a war, call it what it is. It's a genocide. And William, the only thing that I have a problem with is he doesn't care. He doesn't care one way or the other. The reason why that face looks the way it does is because he's doing what he has to do. He's not interested in any of this stuff, any of it. He's not interested. He never has been, and he never will be. He didn't even want to be an air ambulance. He did that, but he barely showed up. They covered for him time and time again. That's how devoted he was to working the air ambulance. But the rest of the story was just a bunch of hype created by the press that are charged with making him seem relatable. They're charged with making him seem relevant, but he is not. Whenever they are called upon to do something, he talks rapidly, he blinks rapidly, he's nervous and twitchy and disinterested.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
Sometimes it's that's more than financial.
well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So, you know.
That was about as warm and as friendly as being bitten by a rattlesnake. Not very friendly at all.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
Sometimes it's that's more than financial.
well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So
And then he goes out to the Range Rover and he tells the driver, yeah, drop me off first and then take her home. Drop me off first and then take her home. They're not getting value for money. I'm just telling you that. The subjects of His Majesty King Charles III, they're not getting value for money. When they first announced that Kate was having surgery, that was his green light to call off from work. And since that day, he's only appeared in 2 months. He's only appeared maybe, I would say, 5 to 7 times. And no matter what you say about family comes first, Do you know how many people like you and like me have had to bury someone and sometimes go back to work the next day? No matter how close that person is to you, you're lucky if you can take a week off, if you can afford to take a week off. But we get on with it. We have someone sick in the hospital, we get on with it. We have to. We can't afford it. But the Duke of Cornwall, which is what he is now, the Duchy of Cornwall is his, he'd do whatever he wants to, accountable to none. I mean, he looks like some kind of mafia don and less like someone there to convey his kind words and support to the Jewish community. He's there because he has to be, because he opened up his big mouth. What am I looking at? What is going on with the royals? And this, of course, because of his mismanagement, even more people, if he was out there working, people wouldn't have time to think about where is Kate. At least less people would be concerned about it. But because he's not working, that's all they could talk about. And then, of course, enters Victoria Arbiter. Her voice is like the nails on a chalkboard. That horrible high-pitched voice of Victoria Arbiter. I thought I had heard the last of her, but when I was watching the coronation, I was, doing something, washing dishes or whatever, and all of a sudden I heard, now let's go to Victoria Arbiter. It was like dolphins communicating. It was like she was using echolocation rather than speaking about the coronation. If you haven't heard her, I'll tell you what, protect your hearing. Make sure you put some of those little spongy things in your ear because you'll need it. And by the way, if you are of childbearing age, do not hold the electronic device near your, nether regions because you may have problems conceiving. So I'm just warning you. What's that? Your lashes fell out. You can't pay your bills? Oh my goodness, that's terrible. So she said, disappointing to see so many reputable outlets using language like disappeared in their stories related to Princess of Wales. She hasn't disappeared. She's at home. Which home? Which home? Which home, girl? Which home? Because they have about 6 of them, right? Not to mention the use and access to approximately 22 properties and several cottages and houses on those properties. So which property is she calling home? We don't know because unlike the rest of us, she has several places she could be. Now, that being said, we don't know that she was ever in that hospital. The vehicles on the night of the 28th were headed toward the George the 6th or 5th or whatever hospital it was. They were headed toward a different hospital. We never saw William get out of the car We never saw him get in the car. We only saw him drive past the hospital one time. We never saw Kate enter or leave the hospital. Now, some people said that there was an emergency surgery in December. Had to be after Christmas, right? I'm just trying to get you caught up if you don't know these things. So there's no evidence and there's no proof. But what they should be afraid of is TikTok. Because you all, let me tell you something. When these kids start dismantling stories, when they start to dismantle these narratives, they really, really are incredibly effective at it. There are some government intelligence agencies that need those TikTokers to look into things because they're good and they will find out. Now, there's one particular person that I heard emphatically, they say the same thing that the Spanish media has been saying, and that is persistent, that nothing has gotten better or worse. It's like suspended animation. Do with that what you will. If you know, you know. That nothing has gotten better or worse. Easter is upon us, and still there's not likely to be a reappearance. I would be shocked and surprised at this point. And I do hope so for her children's sake. I do. I really do hope so for the sake of her children. But things haven't necessarily gotten better. So this, what is it, Royally Heather, whatever. Louder for the people in the back, Victoria. The whole bunch of us really missing the old days. Same, Heather. Wait. Oh, well. Okay, so Prince William was given flowers for the Princess of Wales before he left. Sources tell me Catherine continues to recover well. That is the update, by the way. You know how they say that there's been an update? That's it. For 48 hours, continue to recover well. Continues to recover well. Not getting better, not improving, but continues to recover well from abdominal surgery. But don't expect to see her carrying out public engagements until at least Easter. Okay, so when is Easter? Okay. Easter is... oh, wow. Is Easter on the 31st of March? Yeah, it looks like it's on the 31st of March. Is that Orthodox Easter or Easter? St. Patrick's Day is the 17th. Easter. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's on the 31st of March. So, okay. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I hope she's better for the sake of her children. Lex says, is that update buffering? Asking for a friend. I do believe it is buffering. I do believe that. And thank you for the super chat. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Continues. What is it? What was it again? It's so weird. Continues to recover well. Continues to recover well. God, that sounds weird. Okay, for those asking, this engagement was originally planned for Holocaust Memorial Day in January. And the Prince and Princess of Wales were going to attend together. Due to the princess surgery, it was postponed until today, and only William could make it. That says a lot. That says a lot. So, guys, I'm just telling you what I heard, that it is what the Spanish media said, and nothing has improved. And I have to tell you, I am a bit shocked. I'm a bit shocked. I don't know how someone as protected and as privileged could get into a situation like that. But we don't know what that situation is. And even Tom Bowles said today that he knows what it is and that she will return. But I think he was just towing the party line. CD says, of course, we are assuming she had surgery, or if any of this is true, the hysterectomy and was up and moving after 2 weeks. Post-op recovery was 8 weeks. Yeah, especially when you get to be over 40. When you get to be over 40, a broken bone, needs like 8 weeks. Under 40, I think you can get away at 6 weeks. And then, of course, when it comes to abdominal surgery, there is so much healing that is going on the inside that you cannot see. So yeah, that does take a while to heal. But again, even sitting at a desk or sitting on the sofa with the children, I cannot understand why it is impossible to reassure the public with some kind of image. So right here, Prince William, Duchy of Cornwall is no better than a medieval slush fund, writes Norman Baker. The billionaire prince should hand it back to the public if he really wants a modern monarchy. The royal family was effectively bankrupt in 1760. Today, the Duchy of Cornwall gives William an estimated £24 million a year. So it's worth £1 billion, but he takes a salary of £24 million a year. What, if anything, does he do with that money? I have no idea, but that is what it's worth. Now, that Duchy of Cornwall will be passed on to George, and George will pass it on to whoever his heir to the throne is, and so on and so on. Unlike here in the U.S., where quite often we totally divide an estate, which is why, say, the Rockefellers, this is why they don't have any money like they used to, because they divide that money. It's not like the primogeniture where it goes to the eldest male and so on and so on. An estate like the Duchy of Cornwall is passed on intact, right? Any of those dukedoms and like Princess Diana's father, the Earl Spencer, he passed it on to his son, Charles, who is now the Earl Spencer. Earl, of course, being the title, not his name. And so it was passed on intact. And so even though I think the sisters are older, because he's a male, he inherits everything, including the title. Now, there is some type of compensation or dowry or inheritance, enough to keep the girls comfortable, but not enough to, give them an equal portion. Now, I do believe that the Duke of, is it the Duke of Grosvenor? That kid, the society wedding guy, I think he pushed to give his sisters a larger portion of the estate. And at the time when his father dropped dead of a heart attack, I think he was like a teenager. But anyway, he inherited, a huge portion of central London, land that is leased to property owners or building or whatever owners, but they don't own the land. They own the property. He owns the land and he gets compensated by them. And that's why they say landed gentry. And feel free to step in, Elaine Parker, when I get any of this wrong, but that's why they refer to them as the landed gentry. Those are the gentlemen who own the land in which you lease your property. Now, the problem with the Duchy of Cornwall is that you're unable to pass that property on to your heirs, especially if you don't have a will. But you never owned the land. You never own it. You never own it. So, in the Duchy of Cornwall, you have less rights than you have in most parts of the UK. And so if you die without a will, then that property that you left behind will go back to the duchy. The contents of the property goes to the duchy. It's like medieval times. It really is like medieval times. And so William benefits for that because of an accident of birth. Could you imagine what Harry could do with the Duchy of Cornwall? Could you imagine what a great place that would be to live if in some way, form, or fashion tomorrow he was given the Duchy of Cornwall? Could you imagine what he could do with that? But instead, William, who is not going to take any interest in the operations of the duchy, he's going to have other people do it. He will be an absentee landlord. Thank you so much, Deborah Anderson, for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, Black Queen says, Baron, someone in the chat said that Yeti sperm donor claimed on his podcast that if Meghan pays him $500,000, he will stop talking about her. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to pay him, all right. We're going to pay him absolutely no attention. Thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah. So obviously, hating on his sister is not, hating on his daughter is not paying off like it used to. So now he wants to just get a sum of money to stop talking. I think, given the way things have been going for him, it would be a waste of money anyway, because, well, I think nature is going to take care. I think nature is going to take care of all of that. But yeah, that is disgusting. That is so terribly disgusting, the way that monster addresses his own child. That is so disgusting. And he even threatened to go to court so that he would have access to those grandkids. And what was really telling is when he said, all she needs to do is just bring the kids and we'll take a photo. Dummy, you're not supposed to mention photo. Not that it was going to happen, but you're not supposed to mention photo. You're supposed to ease someone into a sense of security and then whip out the camera or pose them next to the hedges where there's a reporter or paparazzi waiting or whatever. But you don't say it up front, stupid. Oh, disgusting. I'm not surprised, though. I'm not surprised. He does the most sometimes. And, and this is why he doesn't have access. But people say or want to believe that he has a mental problem. And unfortunately, because of him, Meghan can never go back to what she had over there, because even when she met that old lady Dorothy that time, someone said that day, "Why don't you call your father?" And all of this started because of Kensington Palace. Kensington Palace was in contact with Thomas Markle, and they pretty much linked him with the tabloid media. And then we all know what happened. And as Thomas Markle Sr. said himself on video, is that he was supposed to disrupt the wedding. That was what he was there for. That's why they contacted him. While they were pretending to go along with the wedding, there were elements within Kensington Palace that wanted nothing more than to disrupt the wedding. And I have to say, with all fairness, there are certain members of the family that have been supportive and will continue to be supportive, but because of the institution, because of the way they would be destroyed by the media, they keep their mouths shut. They don't have a choice. They really, really do not have a choice. It's not the type of hurt that they're used to. And what, would be a very casual thing to some and terrible to others would totally destroy them. So they don't have a choice. And like Harry said, that family is trapped. And that is what Thomas Markle had mixed up with. And that is why he is useless as a father. That's why he's completely useless as a father, because he crawled up in the bed with the devil and let them have their way. It's a shame. Glad that ain't my daddy. Big Yeti. Well, he is a Yeti. Let me see. Let me find that photo of him. And of course, the Yeti, the big hairy beast of the great Northwest, or Thomas Markle Sr., one and the same, if you ask me. Oh man, let me find him. Lydia loves. There it is. There's the Yeti. There it is. Lydia loves that Yeti. And the reason I know that Thomas Markle is part Yeti is because, well, you'll see. They have a certain, see there? Thank you again, Black Queen. See how that knee kind of dips in? It kind of reminds me of that time on the Ten Commandments when Moses was standing up on that rock and he had that leg askew. And just like the Yeti, which there have been rare sightings, there has been rare sightings in Rosarita, Mexico, of this big hairy beast walking around, frequenting the what do you call it, the Quick Mart or whatever that is, 7-Eleven, and he comes meandering out there, bags of chicken and bags of beer and such. But yeah, that is the Yeti right there. You really can't tell them apart. And just in case, that's actually Thomas Markle Sr. on the right. The Yeti is on the left. But yeah, a Yeti. What an evil person. Evil. And Meghan, unfortunately, Meghan met and fell in love with Harry, and this reality was exposed to the world.
bitter. And, you know, somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
Bitter, 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 bitter. Okay, so thank you again, Black Queen. And moving on, Kate Middleton is missing. Conspiracy theory explained. Even the mainstream publications are talking about the missing Princess of Wales. I told you that sapphire and diamond ring is cursed. And there's a Will today. Look at how dark he is around the eyes. Now, that may be the lighting, but I'm not sure. But he looks very dark around his eyes, those deep set eyes. And of course, that yarmulke is straining to stay on it. You know, they have those little combs in the yarmulke, right? What is the comb holding on to? Maybe they use some duct tape. Yeah, they probably they probably got some duct tape, because given the size of his head, you know that yarmulke barely fits. Barely fits. I mean, it's just kind of against him. It's not on his head, it's against his head. Just barely. But yeah, there's a little comb in there, I think. And when you put it on, that comb should, you know, grip something, but there's nothing to grip. There's nothing to grip. All right. Oh yeah, so Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, strikes podcast deal with Limonada Media, will launch news, show, and distribute archetypes to all platforms. So that came out on the 13th. Just a reminder, you can look forward to not only being able to listen to archetypes on other platforms, since some of you all have ended your relationship with Spotify, but the Sussexes have benefited Spotify in that they have gained a lot of paid subscribers. When the Duchess of Sussex podcast took off, they had gained paid subscribers. They got a lot of new subscribers, but the real meat and potatoes was the paid subscribers. So it was a win-win, but nobody knows how much they were paid. Now, speak of conspiracy theories. On the one hand, there are people that are still saying a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift. And then there are some people that say miracle on Buckingham Street. Miracle on Buckingham Street is courtesy of Cloud Nugget. Cloud Nugget. Oh, I got the hiccups. Cloud Nugget has come up with some very clever reimagined images of the royal family, and that is yet another. So just as the Rolling Stone was rolled away and the Savior returned, such is the future of Kate Middleton. She is going to roll that stone away. But yeah, if you're listening, Cloud Nugget, thank you very much for that. And then there's this one. I don't remember if this was Cloud Nugget or not, but then there are some people that said they have seen her around LA with, wait, what is his name? I forgot his name. But yeah, they've seen her around LA with him. So you never know. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Yes, an Easter rising. Yeah, she's gonna arise again. Pete Davidson, thank you, Marshar. She's gonna rise again for Easter. All right, a rolling stone gathers no moss. The duchy, oh yeah, this was supposed to, anyway, the duchy Prince William's Duchy of Cornwall is no better than a medieval slush fund. Well, we talked about that. But to give you an idea of what the Duchy of Cornwall is, you see that all those purple marks there. Now, some of it is actually in Cornwall, and then there are parts of it that is all over Britain. So it's kind of hard to see it, but all those little purple blotches that you see there, that is the land holdings of the Duchy of Cornwall. Now, Britain is not a very large country, but for what there is, imagine owning that much of it. That's like some of those cattle ranchers that own so much of Texas, or they used to anyway, but they would own so much of Texas. Well, here you can see the Duchy of Cornwall. What is that, like 5% of England? 2%? Even 1% would be a lot. I don't know what that translates in terms of, you know, the square meters or square miles, but they own a lot. They really do. So that is what William inherited. And no person I could imagine has ever been more unworthy than William, the Prince of Wales. Amanda Platel, don't lecture us all about Gaza, William. Just tell us how Kate is. So that was really, I think, the first person that broke rank and just said what other people were thinking. Royals released new statement. Well, I talked about that earlier on Kate Middleton. After she remains out of public eye for 2 months following abdominal surgery. The update comes as royal commentator warned the royal family to be more open about why Prince William was absent from his godfather's memorial. And don't forget, he didn't go to the funeral either, which was attributed to a personal reason. For personal reasons, they said. But again, nothing new for Will and Kate. Take a look down there. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge missed Queen Mother's memorial service to continue skiing. They were skiing, so they didn't go. Remember how they made that big fuss about Harry not going to Philip's memorial service? You know, so that way they could sit up there and complain about where Harry's going to sit and where, all of that stuff. Same thing here. They were hoping to, I'm sorry, different thing here. But yeah, so he has a history of missing important engagements. Interesting for the heir to the throne. Devastating for the Prince of Wales and probably fatal for a sovereign. But let's see what happens. Oh, got another soundbite. I'm almost done, you guys. I think I have a couple more slides left. Yeah, I'm almost done. Almost done. So yeah, this one, of course, is some sound. And let me grab that for you. Yeah, Katie Nichols. Yeah, the squatty said, meanwhile, Katie Nichols still on about the Harry being the wingman, aka the one who has to do all the work.
Shaky start, indeed. And, it was always part of the king's...
Sorry. Let me get this queued up. Yeah, again, I'm almost done, you guys.
Emotional time for him. And yet today, I think his son, Prince Harry, his case is up before the courts this time in relation to security. Yet more headlines. I mean, he was described as the prince of litigation this morning. Is this the kind of publicity that the royal family wants at the moment?
Look, when you consider the start to this year, it's gotten off to a very, very shaky start indeed. And, it was always part of the king's master plan when he became sovereign to have Prince Harry there by his side. It was William's intention to have Prince Harry there as his wingman. And actually, if he was here in a working capacity, I think the royal family would be looking less vulnerable. But clearly, there's far too much
emotional time for him. And yet...
Okay, so there you go. Still the whole idea of Harry spending the rest of his life walking in William's shadow. And you know what? Let me just say this, and I can't prove it, but it's just what I believe. If there is someone worthy of your respect, then you wouldn't have problems taking a back seat or allowing them to lead you if you have earned it, if you deserve it. William has neither earned or deserved the right to be king. He just hasn't. Charles, aside from, his infidelity and the fact that he has conspired against his own children, and not to mention Princess Diana, that whole thing about having this young girl marry into that institution, hoping that they would have somebody like, well, Kate. They were hoping that she would be like Kate, but she wasn't. She had a voice and she used it. But what I'm trying to say is this: Charles is very capable. Right now, he's not doing a good job. 70 years is a long time to sit around and wait. But he didn't just sit around and wait. He worked, and he worked a lot. And he took a duchy that was losing money and made it profitable. Even if it is the money from dead people, he did turn a profit from the Duchy of Cornwall. William could never do something like that. He has no managerial skills whatsoever. He barely has life skills. He cannot hold a conversation without being offensive or telling these very stale jokes. Badly worded, stale, I didn't read the room jokes, right? So there's the big difference. Also, people said that, oh, Meghan didn't want to be second fiddle to Kate. Meghan could never be second fiddle to Kate. However, Meghan showed deference and respect to both Charles and Queen Elizabeth II. That was agreed upon. You don't curtsy to anybody but my father and my grandmother. Full stop. And promise made was a promise kept. She did exactly what he asked her to do. Those are the people that he respected. And so she extended that respect as his wife. No problem with that. However, to have to do that for William, oh my God. Not only do I think he doesn't deserve it and that he hasn't earned it, but the idea of it, the very idea of it, that you would be stuck with that individual for the rest of your life, conceivably, for the rest of your life, is the stuff of nightmares. So as I've always said, God will do for you what you can't do for yourself. No half in, no half out. And they lived happily ever after, right? B. Martin says, PSA, public service announcement. Sway is not walking behind Camilla, no matter what or who, and she knows is, in my opinion, and she knows it rather. Thank you, B. Martin. And that's, you know what? That is a very timely comment, and I'll tell you why. It's just like I said, he doesn't feel like she deserves it. He doesn't feel like she's earned it. If he could respect her, if he had respect for Camilla, then he would do it. I'm sure he would do it. The real interesting thing would be if we'll ever see Afro Annie do it. I'd be surprised if Afro Annie rarely ever did that for her mother. So I would be very surprised if she would ever do that for Camilla. That being said, the same type of scenario that would have been pushed upon Harry and Meghan to show some deference to Queen Camilla, well, now it's a moot point, unnecessary. And same with Willie. Willie is stuck in this unenviable position where he is obligated to show deference to that horrible, horrible, horrible stepmother of his, the one who hounded his mother all the way up until her untimely death. That one, who spent years conspiring against his mother and then graduated to conspiring against him and his brother. I'm not surprised. I told you guys I thought he was going to do that for Commonwealth Day. It'd be interesting seeing all of the heat that has come out of this, if he'll end up doing it anyway. But I knew that was coming. I couldn't imagine him wanting to be in that space with her and possibly walking behind her or even walking beside her. But he would have been obligated to sit there through that ceremony with Camilla as they sit according to rank. Wow. Oh well, but that's his problem, not Harry's. I don't know why I'm thinking of that movie Aliens, Face to Face, for the very first time. All right, and this guy right here, we're going to end on a very positive note. Love this guy. Let's see, who is he? Matthew Statlin. Prince Harry should get the same protection as his brother. Absolutely, as his brother. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to come back to that. Don't let me forget. Because we got this, but I want to end with that guy. No, you know what? Never mind. I'll end with that one. But okay.
Just always had a soft spot for him. Yes, he's made major mistakes. I don't think he should have, as it were, ratted on his family, but it was his sort of answer back after years of press intrusion. So that's I just quite like him. Can't help it. I know a lot of people don't like him. Yeah. And I have a lot of sympathy to his wife, and I think some of the hatred is racially motivated. Let's get that out of the way. This was a guy who was born a royal, right? He could do nothing about who he was born as. And so he cannot control the impact of that on his security throughout his life.
Not just a royal, Diana's son.
Diana's son, and of course he sees this totally understandably, partly I think through the lens of the awful death of his mother and the fact that she was relentlessly pursued by paparazzi. Harry, even though he stepped away from royal duties, is still the son of the king. And not just that, but unlike you, unlike Lynn, as far as I know, and certainly unlike me, this is a man who has put his life on the line for the country in Afghanistan. It seems to me totally wrong that he doesn't get the same treatment, not preferential treatment, but the same treatment as his brother.
Okay.
Okay, and of course that was on the Jeremy Vine show. One of the phoniest, fakest, stupidest people on the face of the earth. God, I can't stand him. Lex says that was that trash from Narnia. It's the was that Tash? I'm sorry, Tash from Narnia. Okay, Tash from Narnia. Oh, I don't know. Let me see. Are you talking about the lady in the blue there? Because she was the one that was talking first. She was the one that was speaking first. But anyway, thank you so much, Lex. All right. And okay. Or you mean this one? This one. Okay. Well, anyway, let me get this one going. Let me see. What is her name? That's Dr. Monica Duberstein. Love her. Okay. What she said, that family is a disease on society. Okay. Yep. That's the one. So yeah, this is the last one for today, you guys. Let me get this going. Oh, oh Lord.
Remember the history. Do not forget what they did to Diana. When Diana was breaking and, you know, in serious mental distress, but she wasn't mad because they were treating her so badly. And actually, just last week, one of Jeffson, I think, said that they leaked all this information about Diana. I remember Nicholas Soames saying on Newsnight, you know, she's crazy, because she did not let Charles own the narrative, because she wanted to tell her side of the story. Yeah. And they leaked that she was mad, and they destroyed this woman's mental health.
They tried.
And they did the same, I think, a woman who came from a very different world. And I remember writing 3,000 words, the cover story in Times US, Time Magazine US. And at the end, I said, she doesn't know the country she's entering. She doesn't know the family she's entering. The only way this was 5 months before they got married. The only way they will survive is if they leave. She had no idea about the backstory in this family. And you talk to me about racism over and over again. Charles says to a woman I know, a journalist I know from Manchester, he says, "Where are you from?" She says, "Manchester." "You don't look as if you're from Manchester." The Prince Philip, I met him at the Royal Shakespeare Company because I was a governor. I'm standing with my husband. He passes us by, he comes back and he looks at my husband and he says, "You're married to her?" No, is she yours? They are full of it. And Meghan had to survive it.
All right. Okay. And oh wow, powerful words. Powerful words. I love the passion in which she expressed herself, just in case anybody misunderstood. And this is why I constantly tell people, I've said it here on the Royal Sussex, none of those awful people that we see on television, that we encounter on social media, they do not speak for the majority of people in Britain. However, they have been conditioned to a lifetime of this negative, nasty tabloid media, you know, and then if that wasn't enough, enters Rupert Murdoch, who took it to a new level. And the reason why Murdoch has spent so much time and made so much money from the UK is because it was just the right environment and it was ripe for the picking, right? The same as Donald Trump realized that if he would appeal to the worst of us, not the best of us, but the worst of us, that he could actually be president. The dumbing down of America, as they call it. They evaluated the presidential speeches all the way from like Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, and they worked their way to Barack Obama. And by the time they got to Barack Obama, the reading level, or should I say the words, were that of, I would say, an eighth grader. We went from a college graduate, a university graduate, down to the level of an eighth grader, because that is the type of language that the public most understands, because we have become less literate, even though we probably read more. And so in order to sound like someone next door, you have to really take the level down. You have to speak from a lower pay grade, unfortunately. Otherwise, people will think that you're being a phony. It's like when you have a very educated Black person that speaks well, they're accused of trying to be something that they're not, right? And that's the same thing. So if you want to have that appeal, you got to dumb it down. Otherwise, you can't really get through to people. And so because of that level in our society where we don't do any critical thinking as a society, we don't want to know how things start or finish. We live in the moment. We live by the soundbite. And so they're just giving us what, as a society, we're asking for, not the individual, but as a society, that's what we're asking for. So racism flourishes when you have a bunch of ignorant people to feed off of it, to live off of it. That is just how it is. So it's unfortunate, but there's also a lot of hope in that the social media has become the great equalizer. They said that the World Wide Web was going to equalize things, and because of that, these media companies, these media groups have been fighting very hard to get into these spaces. And so at some point, they're going to do everything that they can to prevent us from being able to speak directly to one another without going through the filter of their lies and propaganda and gaslighting. That should never happen, but that is what they want. That is definitely what they want. That's how they elect presidents, unfortunately. So anyway, thank you very much, you guys. Again, do not let yourself be consumed by the negative media. Avoid it. If you're watching these talk shows and you're hoping that they're going to say something that you agree with, and they just never do. They always have some other counter view there to get the better words, to get the last word, to speak the loudest and such. That is how these things go. So you have to develop your own filter, and you have to be brave enough to switch it off. This is why I don't watch The View, because it doesn't get anywhere. You just go in a big circle and you leave more frustrated than you arrived. And if you feel that happening to you, switch it off. And that goes for Royal Sussex. If this ever becomes a place filled with negativity and despair, switch it off. Go someplace else. There are so many Sussex-friendly spaces that you can try. I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. So there's a variety out there. And if you want to come back, I'll be here. I'll be here. But take care of yourselves. Take care of your mental health. Take care of yourselves and each other. That's what you need to do. But protect your mental health. That is the most important thing, because if you can't help yourself, you won't be of any use to anyone else. Okay? And I'll let that be the last word of the day. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a very, very safe space. And as usual, when we see our queens, it's about time to go. You know what I mean. All right. And there's our other queen and our king. TB says they will never train children the real true history, especially true African history. Yeah, fortunately, you guys, though, we have a lot of tools that we can do that ourselves. We have so many tools. There are so many tools, and I'm so encouraged by all of the Black children that are going out there and learning their history. But we can always do more. So we do have the tools. Oh, Najdag, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Elwin, thank you for being a member, by the way. Good night, Desiree Dotson. Good night, Cookies and Cream. Marshar, good night. Boo Boo Romero. Okay. Beverly McCaskill says, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated. Remember, no bad energy. Sleep well, squatties, and thank you for Baron and Mods. Great podcast. Oh, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so that's it. Oh, and thank you all for your very generous and thoughtful Cash App, PayPal, and so on, super chats. All right. And on that. Onya, that one, yeah, Onya, thank you. All right, and so let's close with the Ginger Avenger. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Wait. Thank you, Baron, and congrats, and thank you for the great. Thank you, great mods. Oh yes, thank you very much, B. Martin, and thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. All right, and cue the Ginger Avenger. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something?